What's up? Another day. Another day.
Another day.
It's been a long day.
I feel like it's been a lot of long days.
It has been, hasn't it?
It has been a lot of long days. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hello, Yin Yangs. It's good to see you guys. Welcome to the Chi Talks. He said, she said. Detox and noise, so ancient wellness becomes real life. Boy, did I have a week with that.
Where do we start?
Where should we start? First of all, how have you
Is
been?
this story time or should we
Let's ease them in.
Okay.
How was your week?
Let's see, today is what is today? Tuesday?
I think so. Yes.
My week, so would that be starting Monday or are we talking about last week too?
Just like, yeah, in general, like, since the last time we spoke.
Oh.
Yeah. We get to catch our yin yangs up to speed.
Yeah, it's been a little minute, huh?
I
feel like my week has been kind of status quo, I'd say.
Oh yeah, because you're mellow.
I'm still
chilling.
My biggest issue right now is just getting the clinic up to speed, filling it out the way I want to. Other than that, yeah, I wish I had something more crazy to talk about, but I think you can fill that in for us this week. Yeah.
So you're the...
Tell us.
You're like the mellow yin to my crazy yang. So that about
I have to hold like structure.
Yeah.
Right? And then all the craziness happens to you.
So I got a chiropractic adjustment for the first time in 3 years on Monday because I woke up like this. Oh, with my hair you can't see. I woke up like this. And I did emergency acupuncture at 3:40 in the morning.
Ugh.
And because I have never had a migraine ever in my life. And it was shooting this like really annoying, frustrating discomfort. It wasn't even pain. It was just this like annoying pressure. And it was like going into my head and I was like, I'm going to slam my head into this wall if this continues. So I did acupuncture and I actually got some cool content. I posted that. People were like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It got a little better, but I do have tech neck. Like I have a reverse curve, so like I'm like this. I was like, all right, I should probably go. But
it doesn't look like you have bad posture. It looks like you have great posture.
I usually do because I like sit up straight, but then when I'm not thinking about it, I kind of like slouch, or I'm like always on my phone and like emailing. So yeah, I turn into like a
modern day
gremlin.
epidemic, huh?
I know. It's like I turn into like this gremlin. I'm like, oh, look at the mirror. I'm like, yeah.
No water though.
Actually, oh my god.
Gremlins, they don't do the water, right? The water kills them?
I don't know. Do they even eat?
They
eat people, right?
yeah. Well, like water kills them, right?
Something like it.
Okay.
Wait, is that a gremlin?
This is trivia. This is trivia question. I think
Somebody
it is
let
water.
us know.
I think it's water.
Is it?
And they,
Okay.
like fucking melt or some shit.
Okay, well, I'm not relatable in that way. I shower every day. Okay, just like I have a 10-step skincare routine, so like I'm clean. I just don't eat my hunch over like a creepy gremlin. You know. But yeah, I did self-care and that felt nice. Usually I'm really scared because the only people that I've ever let adjust me my entire life are my parents. And so like,
why are you so protective of your...
I mean, I think everybody should be protective of their body, but I'm more defensive when it comes to trusting somebody else to do it because we're in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen a lot of neglecting mistakes that have happened, and I take great care not to do that to my clients, but I also have to trust somebody to let them, crack my neck in the right ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting over that fear is a little bit difficult.
What about just a random massage, not a adjustment?
So massage, I think, is different. As long as you're not manipulating things. So like I actually have had somebody not do something nice during a massage. She literally, my friend has a video of this. I came out screaming because I was limping, and the woman, my friend had come in to like grab my wallet out, and she saw the woman, I'm face down. She had my leg, and she jumped off the table and yanked it, and it snapped my leg down. So
shit.
I could not walk for about 6 weeks.
Holy shit.
If you guys remember my story, I do have a very sensitive sciatic from my accident. Yeah. So any type of aggressive, I don't know, just like don't jump off a table when you're massaging somebody. So I also personally don't like getting touched by people that I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like mm-hmm. hugging or like shaking hands, perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. But a massage I feel is a little bit more intimate. Mm-hmm. And if I don't really trust you, or I get a weird vibe from your energy and from the get-go, I'll pay for the session, but I won't go through with it, just because I think it is very, very vulnerable to let somebody massage you and so I actually don't get massages from male massage therapists.
Would you ever go to like a random Chinatown massage parlor?
I have.
Not knowing the
No, I have done it once, and it was fine. I was very firm about what was off limits, mm-hmm. and they were okay with that. They were very respectful, so I appreciated that, and they kept checking in with me for pressure. But I have had like a really, really wonderful massage where I felt like Kobe beef afterwards, and I've had some that I just was tense the entire time. Yeah. And so I'm like, is this worth, one, the money, two, the stress for 60 minutes to lie there? And I have found the answer is no. So I found a guy that I think is amazing, and I send everybody to him. I will not go. I do have a woman though that I absolutely love what she did. So if you guys are looking for either male or female, I have recommendations.
You gotta tell me, yeah, I'm looking for massage.
Yeah.
Therapists.
Yeah. Well, we do have a few massage therapists that they work around. I could introduce you. They do traveling, so if you want them to like come here, I've never gotten a massage with them, but because since we're in healthcare, it's hard for us to leave our patients to go somewhere. So I do have a lot of respect for one of my colleagues. And there was this one day that I was extremely just slammed from 8 a.m. I think I went to 8:45 p.m. straight, and this was not my typical private clinic, so it was like 4 rooms going, and I was just going back to back to back, and I had to skip lunch. I was like, there's no way. She came at 8:45 p.m. to my clinic, did an hour massage for me, and I left feeling amazing. Mm-hmm. So I do appreciate the people who can travel to you, and especially if they can do a favor, and not that it's expected, because I've done house calls where I'm there at like 6 a.m. for somebody, but it's not easy, so I really appreciated that. But yeah, my preference over a massage is getting a head scalp, or like a scalp. Have you heard of head spa?
When I do my haircut and I pay an extra $10 for washing the hair, yeah, they throw in this like whole head thing, and I'm like, I thought you were just gonna wash my hair, but no, I'm getting like this whole head massage, and I'm like, fuck yeah. The problem is, the first time I got it was incredible. Oh. The second time I got it, it was like this. It was number one. The first time was with a woman, and she was like really kind of kneading in there. Second time was with a dude. He just did not give a fuck. And I was like, what the hell, man? Like the disparity is just like too great here. So next time, I don't know. If I actually need to wash my hair, I'll pay for it. But if not, then I'm like, fuck it.
So I love head spa. They're called head spa in Korean, or scalp massage. But it is. I have a lot of hair, and I have long hair.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to sit there really get into my scalp, I just don't have the arm strength. And like my arms are like wet noodles. So I will go once every month and have them just detox my scalp,
Ooh,
put
I like
hair, like it is a self-care routine experience. I look forward to it every month. So from head to toe, I'll get everything. So they do my hair, they put in nutrients, nutrition, hair masks, spa, steam everything, and my scalp is clean. And then I'll go and get my nails done. So I try to pack everything into one day. So I just go home feeling like gel.
Glammed up.
Yes. And
I've
it's
never
nice.
done it in my life. I should
Okay.
try it. Maybe more guys should do that, huh?
You absolutely should.
Self-care stuff.
So my partners, like I would drag them to the nail salon with me. I only had to drag them one time. After that, they willingly were like, when is your next appointment? And they book it with me. So it's called a gentleman or a gentlemani. So it's like a gentleman mani. They don't do colors, but they clean up your cuticles, they give you a hand
I got a pedicure
massage.
once.
Yeah, I think more men should do
I
that.
hated the pedicure.
Why?
I absolutely
You don't like
hated
people
it.
touching your feet?
No, I don't like sharp shit around my nails.
Oh.
It was freaking me out.
Oh.
I was like, what if she slips and like cuts off a huge chunk of nail?
Oh my god. I have
Like-
actually had that happen to me before.
Yeah, that shit freaked me out. And then
Yeah.
I was like, do I have any recourse? Like, is it just an accident? And she says sorry, and I'm fucked, and then I have to just go home with half a toenail?
Oh my god. I mean, yeah,
So-
she's not gonna put it back on.
Right, but like, I'm
emotional
not gonna get
Yeah.
reimbursed for my toenail.
For your toenail,
right?
no. They're probably
Right?
just
So I
like
was
not
like,
what you pay.
I was like, nah, I don't think I like this
Oh,
risk.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was freaking me out.
Alright.
I did
Wow.
not enjoy it at all.
I will take you to go get a head spa with me.
Okay.
And
I
we'll
think like a
go virtual.
manicure, I would probably be a little more okay with. I've never gotten
Really?
one, but I feel like I'd be more okay with my fingers. For whatever reason, that
Oh,
lady around my toes was, it was
Oh,
fucking with my
that's
head.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that about you.
Uh-huh. I don't know why.
I don't like feet.
Mm.
I mean, I like feet, just not people touching
Where are
my
we going
feet.
with this?
Like, I mean, I think it's the thing with feet though. I think it's the thing because you can imagine tolerating sharp
Yes.
things around your hand,
Yes,
but
yes.
your feet are more sensitive, right?
Yes,
I don't like people.
definitely.
So my pedicure person, I always go to the same person every time,
Uh-huh.
and I'm extremely ticklish, so they know how to like handle it. But I think a lot of people have a weird thing with like feet. We're more sensitive about it, right?
Yeah.
So one thing, and I'm kind of, this is interesting how this is like going full circle. So I had a workshop, and I asked the group that I was leading, I said, how's your pinky toe? And this one man goes, considering I got my foot run over by a car 6 years ago, and it took my pinky toe with it, I was like, oh, shit. Fuck, okay. I was like, okay. And so quick thinking as I am, I pivot and I'm like, do you have phantom pain? Or do you like sometimes feel like it's there? And he was like, holy shit. No. And I'm like, fuck. Okay. So I was like,
Fuck
all right.
fake.
Yeah. So I was like, oh shit. But then it became like really genuine. I was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm actually genuinely curious. So take what you will and leave what you won't. I was like, how does that work? Do you just like, do you not wear sandals, or are you comfortable with not having a toe, or is it like a vanity thing, or like do you actually have like difference in walking and gait? And he was like, well, I cut off the other toe. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? He goes, I was just fucking with you. And I'm like, I don't like this guy.
He's on fire.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't like this guy. But you know, my whole message is reconnect the disconnect. And I was like, okay, what do you do if you only have 9 toes, right? Like, what does your pinky toe actually do? And so I had people, not him, obviously he doesn't have a pinky toe, but I had them like stretch out their toes, and we found that like 60% of the group couldn't extend their toes out, and they were like stuck. So you'd only see this movement going, none of the middle toes would move. And I'm like, do that with your hands. Like, I have a weird thing. Okay, oh my god, I'm getting vulnerable. I can do this. Can you do this? Okay. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like 1, 2, 3,
I had to really
4.
try for this. This is like hurting my tendons though.
I look. I mean, guys, this is not a cute look.
The gremlin look.
If you ask me on a date, I'd be like, "Hi guys, right? Or is this acceptable for you?"
Oh, this like fucking hurts.
It's so hard, right?
Yeah,
Now,
this feels good.
when you're at home, for those of you at home, when we get home, try it. Take off your shoes, take off your socks, give it a moment, and then just try to stretch your toes all the way out. You will be surprised how disjointed and disconnected
people
you
got
are.
dead ass feet.
Yeah.
I had a patient earlier today.
Oh god.
And he came in. He had bunion surgery. Should I be going over? I can go over details, right? I'm not breaking any into stuff right now.
Okay, so no identifiers.
Yeah.
So we have a he and bunions. No more details about the person itself. Okay.
Bunion. He had a big lump underneath the foot, the metatarsal area. And as we're talking about the case, I come to realize that circulation to all the extremities, to his fingers and to his toes, was shit.
I just have a really wild question.
Uh-huh.
Is this on?
I don't think so.
Oh my god!
Should it? It should be.
The mute button should be red. Did we not click it open?
Wait.
Oh my god! Alright, we'll find out how this is gonna come down later on.
God damn it. Alright. Well, the show goes on, right?
The show goes on.
The mic is on my phone, so.
Okay, well.
Fuck, man. Is this the second time we've done this? It is, right?
No, the first time we clicked mute on accident, thinking that was the thing. This time we didn't even turn the box on.
Well, let's see what happens.
Hey.
Let's see what happens. So, anyways, terrible circulation to the hands and feet. Pretty severe case of Raynaud's.
Oh no.
And we keep going, and I'm like, I start asking him about his foot health and wiggling his toes. I'm like, what can you do? And he's like, yeah, my toes are just like dead. So yeah, and if you looked at his foot, he was like really red. It just didn't look like a healthy foot at all. And part of the treatment plan for him was like, dude, you just gotta like wiggle your toes more and start getting that shit going. And yeah, I don't think like and bunions too. If you look at what a bunion looks like, it's just like that big toe is just completely asleep. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna freeload. I'm not paying rent, but I'm gonna hang out here. And
that's wild.
Yeah, to all my patients that have issues like that, I'm like, dude, you just have to reconnect your brain to your feet, and it's gonna be a long process, but you need your feet working properly.
Yeah.
Especially, there's a saying in Tai Chi, and they say if there's ever a problem, you look to the feet for the answer. So no matter like what happens, if you're feeling like tense in your body, and this is from someone like putting force on your body, and you tighten up, the answer is almost always because something in the foot is not doing its job. So yeah, I feel like we could talk about feet all day.
What do you think about when you hear like a patient is like giving you all these things? Do you ask anything about their feet?
When they're asking about what?
Yeah, it's just like when you get a patient and they're like telling you, just think about your entire career so far. Do we really ever ask questions focused on feet?
I ask about temperature of the feet.
Yeah.
And temperature of the hands, and a lot of people will say like, like cold feet, but warm hands, or cold hands, cold feet. I don't really. I observe it though pretty closely when I'm checking the patient out, but I don't really ask that many questions about it. Yeah.
Interesting. I ask if they have weird toenails. So what I've noticed is a lot of my patients will have, not obviously they're like athlete's foot or fungus or like broken toenails, it's one thing.
Right.
But I ask like, do your toenails grow the same on right and left feet? And people are like, oh my God, I don't think I've ever thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, look at your hands, right? Most of the time, you have one hand that the nails are longer than the other. But we don't think about that with toes. And also, circulation into our feet are less, right?
Yeah.
Less powerful, less clean,
Yeah.
less cyclical than what we get in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at their feet and I have them look at their feet. So now, what I've done is, it's not necessarily like, I don't think in 14 years I've ever had somebody be like, yes, my right toe grows exponentially faster. They're like, oh my God, I don't think I've ever thought about that. But then what happens, they go home and they really look at their feet. They look at their toenails. If you have diabetes, Raynaud's, or any other type of circulatory issues, your toes will either have striations, or they'll be shriveled, or they're dry, or they're brittle, and they like peel and stuff like that. And I like getting people to think about toes.
I like that. Because that is the furthest point in circulation,
it's the
right?
farthest away,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's a really good indicator for
Yeah.
overall circulatory
Yes.
health. Yeah.
So like hands, it's hard for me to say like, oh, I have cold hands or cold feet, because I'm constantly using them, right? But my feet, I'm like, oh, I don't even know. So I started checking, and I realized I used to have like freezing cold feet. Now I'm like, they're not cold anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
One of my diagnostic questions is, do the toes get cold? Does that cold travel up into the bottom of the foot? Does it get to the ankle? Because these all mean different things.
Ooh, tell me more.
Yeah, so in my herbal tradition, cold in the toes is more of a Cheyenne thing. So it's less about there's not enough blood and heat. It's just impairment in circulation. And the more the cold goes inwards towards the ankle, the more it becomes an actual interior cold problem. Like the person is actually deficient in cold.
Oh, interesting.
And we treat it that way. Okay. Yeah. So toes is more of like a chaihu, a movement, a chi movement based idea. And then the closer it gets to the ankle, the more it's like a ganjang, a dried ginger, which is just like warming the middle idea.
Interesting.
Yeah. I found it to be a pretty good diagnostic tool too. Same for the hands, same idea.
Okay. What is a good indicator for somebody to gauge this? Should they do it in the morning? Should they do it after they're done walking, or what? Like before bed? When is a good time?
Good question. I don't know. I think they should take different snapshots over different periods of time, because I think, if you're walking and you're exercising, there's not going to be that much cold, right? So I think you look at it in different situations, and you just get an overall idea of like how is the circulation in your feet? Yeah, because it's hard to pick one time, right? I think there are definitely situations where you want to pick a certain time and look at it the same time every day at that point, like checking blood pressure or something like that. But circulation in the feet, I don't know. I might have to think about that. I'm not too sure about that.
Okay. I typically have a rule for overall, right? As soon as you wake up and right before you go to bed, and see the difference. Because in the morning, so a lot of people argue like, oh, but you're sleeping and this, that, and the other. That's exactly it. When there's no other barriers, obstacles, or distractions from your body, that's when it is the most open and honest. And then as you move and as you change, and then right before you go to bed, it's when everything is still active before you slow down. And then we start choosing like, okay, what if I'm more active? What if I'm less active? And then we start picking and choosing. But for those of you who aren't seeing an acupuncturist or a practitioner, a good rule of thumb is just do it in the morning and do it before you go to bed. Same thing with your tongue. I did have a weird conversation with somebody who was like, oh, my acupuncturist asked to see my tongue. And I said, okay, did you eat something before? And they're like, yeah, I went right after lunch. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't think that's a good baseline right? For if you eat something.
Agreed.
I mean, obviously
sure.
we drink cold. I drink coffee all the time. So what shows up after you eat is going to be different than what your baseline is, right?
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
I think I would apply that to like just a self-diagnostic thing, and then go deeper in, right? Like if you really don't know what to look for, where to start, I think it's like a pretty good start is like, how am I when I wake up?
Yeah,
You
totally.
know?
I think just having your mind on that part of your body
Yeah.
is a good start, right?
Absolutely.
You know, check it when you wake up, check it before you go to bed, but also check it at various random times during the day too. And you'll start to see a pattern, right? Because there's patterns in everything.
Absolutely.
But definitely the tongue thing, if I eat something super sweet, I'll have a coating like immediately,
Really?
like 5 minutes after I eat it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's so obvious.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about my tongue after my third cup of iced coffee. Yeah, I love it though, you know. I'm happy. It's like it nourishes
Makes you
my
happy,
soul.
huh?
It does.
Yeah.
But I also say it's safer for everyone else around me than it is for me, because happy Michelle is a very different type of Michelle than a not happy Michelle, you know.
What would you be like if you didn't drink coffee?
Oh, absolutely no different. Caffeine does nothing to me and for me. I've tried it. I was like, somebody was like, oh, you're caffeine dependent, you're like addicted to caffeine.
No. I meant, forget about the caffeine. Like, what kind of a person would you be if you were not drinking your coffee?
I experimented, and for 7 days, I did not have a single cup of coffee.
Okay.
No caffeine, because I didn't want causation and correlation. I was a bitch. I was not the bitch. Everybody's like, I was a joke. Like people that have been on this journey with me and my friends also. When somebody's like, you're a bitch, I'm like, no, correction, I'm the bitch, right? Without coffee, I'm just a bitch. I'm not a happy person because, and I realized what it was.
Okay.
I don't like to not have my routine. I wake up in the morning, I do my mantra, I have my morning routine that I do, and then I go to my neighborhood coffee spot, which is either the coffee shop in my building, or it's the Starbucks right next to work, or the Oasis Cafe right in front of my other clinic. And they know my order. Like they know when they see me walking in, I'm gonna order it, so it's already made. But when I didn't have coffee, I didn't have my routine done, and so it just felt like something was missing, and it felt like that made me uncomfortable. And yeah, I know I'm a fucking control freak. I get it. Like I own it, but I'm not less awake or alert. I've gone straight into meetings. I've gone 16-hour meeting back-to-back days with Asia, Europe, and West Coast, and I'm firing on all cylinders. So caffeine itself doesn't have a bearing on me, and I can go right to sleep after, like the other day I had that latte, I went right to sleep. But I don't like not having my routine because it makes me feel unbalanced.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
I was snarling though that entire week. I'm like, what did you say? I was like, say that again one more time. And I like went back and was like, no, per your conversation. And I like was trying to control every little thing because I felt like I wasn't in control of my life that I had set.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Huh. I definitely don't get that. For myself, not having a routine. I have a routine.
Yeah.
But if I'm not on the routine, I feel like nothing really changes too much.
I mean, it's not a one-off, right? It's not like I'm on vacation, so my routine changes, or I'm at work and routine changes. But it was 7 days in my home, same schedule, and I just... Should I say voluntarily? I mean, I felt like it was an involuntary thing just to test a theory. But my body muscle memory would walk me in front of the cafe, and I would have to forcefully like no and go. So, but this has been my routine since I got to New York in 2019. So it's like, shit, this is tough.
When does a routine become detrimental? Because
I
you know
will
how some
neither
people like.
confirm nor deny the
Okay.
existence of that question. No, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying though? A lot of people you do routines. I feel like to have this wellness ritual and to keep your life on track in some way and to
Interesting.
build healthy habits. You know, like people journal and then they'll go to the gym at 5 a.m. and they have to build this whatever. But at what point does that become too constricting and like causing dissatisfaction and unhappiness?
Yeah, but to who?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah.
I think I've had friends, colleagues, work partners, or romantic partners not be very happy with certain routines or habits that I had. And it's like, okay, but this is how I've always been. And I understand you have to compromise with certain people, but if I always take my meeting at 7 p.m. on a Friday, because that's what time is, you know, where the other country is, and all of a sudden I get in a relationship and they're like, well, I wanted to take you to dinner on Friday. But this is my routine. This is my standing appointment. They're dissatisfied, and now I'm dissatisfied because they're dissatisfied, and I'm not understanding why, right? But a routine or a habit that I set for myself, if it's something that I've just gotten comfortable with, I don't think that it's detrimental or destructive to me. Mm-hmm. It might not be conducive for a new relationship or a new pattern, but it also depends on why do I feel the need to compromise on that, right? So, I don't know. That's an interesting question.
I've definitely had points in my life where I feel like I have to be disciplined, so I make my routine, right?
Okay.
And inevitably, it gets to the point where I'm like, I'm not doing it for enjoyment. I'm almost like just holding myself in a cage.
Gotcha.
And I'm saying, you have to do this to be this way.
Yeah.
And invariably, I find that very restrictive.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I'm having a little bit of a distance with the question because I don't do things I don't want to anymore. Mm-hmm. Everything that I do, it's just comfortable. It's me. And it's bad. The police officer one time was like, this is the easiest person to get stalked. If everybody knows your routine, if they're like, oh, Michelle's gonna be walking through here at 8:05 p.m. and that's like clockwork, you can get kidnapped. I'm like, great. But also it's safe because if I'm not at the neighborhood bar at 7:45 p.m. on my Thursday, they do a welfare check. They're like, are you okay?
Good point.
I think,
point.
you know,
Good
just
point.
like yin and yang, imbalance is balance.
Yes.
You know,
so everyone has their own balance point, right? Yeah.
But if it's not serving you, I think to your point, if it's not making you happy and you feel like you're being forced to do it, which actually this brings up a really, really interesting point because another person asked as well, they're like, you know, I'm on this wellness journey and I'm not supposed to eat these things. I said, why? Is it religious? Is it like a health thing? They're like, well, no, it's just my like Google, my research, my nutritionist said that this isn't good for me. And I said, okay, like how so? They're like, oh, it's gonna hurt, you know, whatever it is. And I'm like, how often do you eat this? She's like, I don't know, like once every blue moon. And I was like, how do you feel afterwards? She's like, happy. It makes me happy. And I'm like, so it sounds like it's nourishing your soul, right? I'm not telling you to go out and do like 10 lines of cocaine and wash it down with a handle of whiskey, but it's like for people on fertility journeys, right? They're like, don't eat cheese, don't do dairy, don't drink wine, don't do caffeine, don't do, you know, XYZ. I had a woman come crying to me because they accidentally forgot to take the cheese out of her cheeseburger. And she had been threatened by other practitioners in her life that you've now undone everything because you had the cheese.
Crazy.
And already we're in such a fragile state of mind that I don't need somebody being like, you can't have rice. Try telling that to an Asian woman that you cannot have rice or you cannot get pregnant, right? Like, bullshit. I think there is something to be said about moderation. Mm-hmm. There is something to be said that even athletes, the strictest of celebrities, they also have cheat days. Mm-hmm. Because they know that, okay, for the greater good of my career, my business, my whatever it is, they shouldn't do this. But there's that one day they look forward to where it's guilt-free, mm-hmm. right? Within reason, please. Like, let's not make me go down that rabbit hole. But that's what I think. And she said, oh, it sounds like it's nourishing for the soul. And I said, yes. If you have a piece of cheese, I love cheese. Cheese is like the worst thing you can do to your body, but I love cheese. It makes me happy. But if I have cheese, I'll do exercises, I'll walk more, or I'll drink more hot water. I don't know, just whatever it is to offset whatever it is supposedly doing to my body and destruction, mm-hmm. offset it, because life is a balance. What do you think? Let me ask you this. What do you think is worse? Somebody who has a strict diet, it's perfect. It is mm-hmm. like everything that the human body needs, and they hate it, and they have to bring out their calculator and like count calories and do all these things.
Awful.
Or they eat a bowl of pasta every week, but they're happy doing it. You know what I mean?
For sure. There's your chi has to be expansive and flow properly, and if you're forcing it into this tiny little thing where you have to eat a certain way and do a certain thing, that's not good for your chi either. Yeah. So honestly, like, even though some things are not good for my patients, I actually, if we're on an herbal treatment program, I'm like, yo, if you're getting better, you should actually be able to tolerate these things mm-hmm. more. Mm-hmm. So I'll actually have them stress test themselves. Like, we'll do treatment for a while. If it's like really bad, I'm like, yo, you need to not eat this shit and drink that shit for like a minute, right? But then after we've made some progress, I'm like, you gotta test your GI. Yeah. We're aiming to get to a point where, number one, you understand that these things are not good for mm-hmm. you. Sure. But you also should have a body resilient enough that you can have it and not shit your pants in 5 minutes too, right? No. So then, like, we're aiming for this point where they can feel confident in their body, mm-hmm. But they also understand that they can't be having this stuff every day, which is what got them to that point in the first place. Absolutely. So, like, the balance point shifts, and then they kind of get the best of both worlds. They get their GI back, mm-hmm. and they also can have a little bit in moderation and enjoy it even more when they do that too. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
What's one guilty pleasure of yours, food and consumption-wise?
Food consumption-wise? Mm-hmm. Probably the Culture espresso chocolate chip cookie that's right fucking downstairs, and I pass by that motherfucker every single day. I'm like, that smells good. It smells
good, I know. Oh my god. Okay. How often do you eat it? Honestly.
I seem to end up with that cookie in my, and I don't even go and buy it. Like, people will just buy it and then show up, and then, or like, I'll go to a picnic, and of course there's the fucking cookies right there.
Yeah.
So I think I probably have one once every, I'm gonna say once a month.
Okay.
Yeah. What guilty pleasure do you have?
Fuck. I have an unhealthy love for noodles. I love noodles. Like,
noodles are okay though. Is that a guilty pleasure though?
Yeah, it's not starch, carbs, all those things. If you have a history of diabetes in your family, A1C is pretty bad. So rice, gluttonous, but like also noodles.
You do?
My whole family. My father passed away from complications of diabetes. My grandfather before him. Unfortunately for the male, in the male side of the Han family, they've all succumbed to diabetes. And it's not, and a lot of people have a lot of things to say. There's a lot of discourse on it, but it's not an easy thing to fix, especially because there's complications with all the diabetes medicine and the medications and whatever else. You have kidney failure, and then you have this. So it's like, There's so much. So I've always been hypervigilant about getting my A1C checked, which is difficult because I know this is taking us on a tangent, but the first thing that they tell me when I say I'd like to get my A1C or I'd like to do a diabetes check or pre-diabetic check, they're like, have you gained weight in the past 3 months, 6 months? And I'm like, no. They're like, okay, then you're fine. Because the number one sign of diabetes is weight gain.
Okay.
It's not the case. I have seen a lot of people, I work with a lot of people who are pre-diabetic, A1C levels over 7, and they're thin, they're real thin, right? So it's an outdated model for checking. But for a long time, my A1C, I think not a long time, about 2 years ago, my A1C hit about 6.7. It was a very, very high stress level point, and I realized that because I wasn't digesting well, I would drink carbonated drinks. Like I'd have like a Coca-Cola, I have a root beer, I have like a ginger ale, just because the carbonation would, so it would just flush everything out, but I wasn't sleeping well. But it wasn't, I tested it. I drank carbonated drinks, soft drinks, 1 can every day for a year, didn't do anything. It had nothing to do with it. It was the combination of the soft drinks, the not sleeping, the stress, the not eating, that it raised everything.
That sounds like a dangerous level right there.
But they wouldn't check. I had to fight. And finally, I had to change my primary care physician. I told them that I have a history, and they were like, yeah, it's written here. Your father passed away from complications. Why didn't they test you? I'm like, because they didn't gain weight. And it's like, this is not a flex for people to be like, oh, well, I never gain weight. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a lot of hidden dangers in not having your stereotypical types, right? But for Asian women, Asian men especially, because we eat rice as a staple, go get it checked, especially when you hit 40s, because it's easy to manage before it hits the normal range. But once it hits the high to normal range to above, it's almost impossible to get back down. So don't use weight gain as a stress test, right? Yeah. But because of that, I stopped eating noodles. I stopped eating rice. I did like nuts, fruits, veggies, but also you have to be dangerous. You have to be careful with fruits because of the high sucrose. Yeah, right. So you have to be careful with all that. So I was stressed, checking everything before I would eat it. And I actually ended up gaining about 8 pounds, and I was miserable. And so I was like, this is not healthy. I started boxing, doing MMA. I started doing more of my self-care rituals. I would carve out 1 hour every Sunday to just sit at the cafe and people watch. And that has luckily, thankfully, gotten me down to a regular, normal level. But I eat noodles every week. Pasta, ramen, soba, udon, like you name it. I love noodles. But because of that, I do preemptively go get checked every year just to make sure. And I have also increased my exercises and working out to make sure that I'm keeping my cholesterol levels in a nice, normal, healthy, check. So get checked. Like, that's all I can say, I guess, There's no other way to tell. But it was miserable. I cut out noodles and rice, and I was mentally not in a good place.
That's interesting. So. You cut all that stuff out, and then you gain weight on top of that.
Yeah. I gained 8 pounds.
It goes to show, if you're, like, miserable, but you have a quote-unquote pristine lifestyle, that's not healthy.
No.
Right?
At all.
The mind is at the center of everything. So if this complex right here is not humming properly, this physical is just a shell, right? It's a reflection of this.
I think my body switched to true survival mode, so that every piece of food and nourishment was now also toxic. I saw your post, food is medicine, whereas it could be poisonous for gluttony. I was retaining everything that I was eating because my body was going to survival mode. I was counting calories. I was doing, I followed a very strict regimen from one of the most expensive dietitians for, diabetes and stuff. I was miserable. was miserable and I was gaining weight and I was not doing well, mentally or physically. And so I'm not saying that what they offered me and suggested me was wrong. I found that there's a balance.
Yeah.
That, okay, if you love pasta, if you love rice, unless it's toxic and really it will kill you, increase your exercise by 2 hours, right? Do more movement-based things. But yeah, personal experience cutting that out, it was not a good choice for me. Yeah.
Man, if I had to cut that stuff out of my life,
I know.
I'd blow my brains out, man. Fuck that.
Yeah, it was hard, and it was like, I'm a foodie. I don't eat a lot of food in one sitting, but I love cooking. I love making food, and I love trying new places. But name anything that's not a cold salad, because we know how, Chinese medicine talks about cold and raw foods.
And ice and all that.
But what doesn't have rice or noodles? What doesn't have potatoes and starch?
Or in all food?
Just in general. But let's keep it to Asian, because you and I are of Asian descent.
Yeah.
So telling me not to eat rice or noodles to an Asian person who this is a staple, what am I supposed to eat?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I literally have rice at every single meal.
But I think that's the thing. Like, Europeans drink wine from when they're 14? So their tolerance and their condition for drinking wine is different than Americans, who legally you're supposed to start drinking at 21, right? But also, a Mediterranean diet is something new and introduced to my body at this age, whereas having rice and kimchi and whatever else 3 times a meal, per day, is very different for somebody else.
That's your balance point, right?
So I think you have to find somebody that understands your culture, understands your conditioning for how you were raised and how your body is used to, and then finding it from there. Because this is all to say, just reach out and ask us, because Google doesn't know you. Google doesn't know your culture. Google doesn't know, your habits, your preferences, and all those things. Yes, I think, AI might be a little bit better in this sense, but also, why don't you talk to somebody who does want to get to know your journey and where you are? And we pretty have good ideas.
But also, the experience matters. ChatGPT is surprisingly good sometimes, but you have to know what to ask. You have to know when it's wrong.
Yes.
You have to know how to ask the questions. But then also, ChatGPT doesn't have the experience. So you need to talk to someone that's done it and seen it and knows for sure. So while ChatGPT does actually have some really good juice in there, it doesn't have the experience, and it's never gonna really know too.
I have an interesting connection with AI in general. I think what people forget is that AI is just data mining, right? It's pulling from everything that's out there. And we know certain people in our lives don't always fact check before putting stuff into the universe or into the internet or the cloud or whatever. So, like you said, it sounds right. That's the problem. I think that's what scares me. It sounds right. And I'm like, how do you fact check that, right? So you go on Google, and then you're like, I checked it. Okay, but they're also written by other humans. Did you check to see if they're licensed and credentialed? Did you see if they work with the same type of people? And also, don't you just want to hang out with us, talk to us?
Yeah, seriously. But that's why foundation is important.
Yeah.
Foundation, you have these building blocks that are truths that you can kind of base everything else on.
Yeah.
So as long as the building blocks are in place, that's how you can know when ChatGPT is a little off, or if they're in the right direction and they say something and you're like, actually, this is gold right here, because your foundation is solid, your basics are solid.
So can I tell them about our conversation a few days ago?
I don't know what conversation it is.
I mean, we have a lot of conversations. So Jeff and I had an interesting conversation, a discourse, if you will, on a specific foundational theory. And we agreed to disagree, but we left ourselves grace to understand that there might have been something lost in translation, right? So for those of you that don't know, I'm not Chinese. I've heard I look like every other Asian in the book. Like, I've heard I look Japanese, I've heard that I look Chinese, I look Taiwanese, but I'm Korean, Korean American. I practice Chinese medicine. I don't practice Korean medicine, but in the empirical classical form, not what we call traditional Chinese medicine.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do give grace, and I do appreciate that you gave me grace, to leave a buffer, because I never had the opportunity or privilege to learn in my native tongue. Because you can't teach Chinese medicine through the native tongue of English, right? That's not right. And also, I learned it both from the English tract and also from the Korean tract, but they're also once translated, right? Koreans use Chinese characters, but it was still translated into Korean for understanding. So I'm at the mercy of whoever translated. But translation isn't a one-to-one, right? It takes into consideration how I'm taking it, how it's feeling for me, and my own personal experiences that it comes out. So we might be saying the same thing, but using different terminology, which is fine. But that's what I think I want to leave with you guys also. It's not everybody is right, but also things that might not resonate with you, they might not be wrong. They might just not be speaking in the way that you need to be spoken to that's resonating with you, right? And so that's why we work together in the sense of I send Jeff patients, Jeff will connect me with people, and our entire network also, because we're good at resonating the people that we resonate with, right? Like, I don't know if I've already told you my story, but I have a tattoo. I get a tattoo every birthday. I have since stopped, but this is my 39th birthday, and it says, "You were always meant to find me." Meaning, I don't have to hoard patience and go based on numbers, right? I'm making space for people that need me because I resonate and I speak the message in which that they needed to hear. And for those that aren't, there's people like Jeff, there's people like my other colleagues, like his colleagues, that do speak in the way that resonates for you. So, I mean, unless they're like, you know, yin and yang are not real, or like just really crazy sacrilegious things to a Chinese medicine practitioner, maybe it's the way that they're saying things, right? That might be different for you. So not everybody that sounds wrong is wrong, and not everybody that sounds right is right. Fuck, that sounded like Yoda, didn't it? That was kind of like, shit. I'm like talking in circles. I should like go hide in a mountain.
That's how it is, though. That's how reality is.
But, you know what I
reality
mean?
is contradictory.
But you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I said the same thing to somebody that another friend said literally verbatim, and this woman goes, "Oh my God, that makes so much more sense." And I'm like, that was literally the same thing that I said. But I understood in that moment. I was like, oh, because you're not my person, and I'm not yours.
Yeah. That's such a healthy way to live, too.
Yeah.
A healthy way to be.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm me. There's people for me.
Yeah.
There's people that are not for me.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. That's how the universe is.
How long did it take you to stop being competitive for patients?
Oh, I don't know. That's a great question. I can't say it was like a certain time period where it happened, but I feel like my mental journey has been a long time coming. Even before I started practicing, I was really into Buddhist and Taoist philosophy and the idea of letting go. So I feel like I've been working my way towards that point for like a long time, and all I can say now is that I'm like you. I know there's people for me out there, and I know what I have to give, and I know that some people I just can't help either too, and there's definitely going to be people like that out there, but I don't know. My whole approach to life now is just do my best, work hard, show up for the people like to the best of my ability, and let everything else just kind of sort itself out, right?
Yeah.
It's served me well so far. I would say it's a low stress way to live. I think it's an efficient way to live.
Yeah.
I think my big thing is really an efficiency issue. That's why I tend towards the Buddhist arts and the Taoist arts, because they're just like, I just don't got time for this shit. I don't got time for like excessive thoughts and emotions and whatever. It's just you do your thing and you let everything else fall into place, and that's it. Yeah.
I like that. Wow. It's a lot to think about. You know, who are you really competing with? And for me, I stopped competing with myself, because I realized I was like, I'm not competing with other people. Like I'm not competing with the guy next door or the other acupuncturist in my building.
Mm-hmm.
I was setting impossible standards for me because I was expecting it, but I also thought other people expected that from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was not a happy person.
Yeah.
But
it takes being there to understand that too, right? You can't. Having wisdom means you have to have suffered and lived through it to realize, okay, fine, this is how it is. Reading something in a book, and while you may understand it intellectually, like it's got to happen to you too. So I think that's, I guess, a big difference where you and I are. We've kind of like feel like we've suffered a fair bit. We've paid our dues, and we're just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. This is who I am.
No more gatekeeping the secrets. We're like telling you guys all of this.
Yeah.
I wanted to just share with our yin yangs. We are playing with the idea of hosting an in-person Chi Talks experience. To have conversation, to do, exchange of discussion with you guys, but also to lead you in what we do best. And that's a live embodied session from my archives and expertise, and somatic and body work, and also the guidance that Jeff does. So stay tuned, and also just connect with us. I actually did hear from one of our yin yangs on Instagram, sent me a very beautiful message that they liked the way that I said fuck. So I was like, great.
It makes you real.
Yeah. That's actually what they said.
Yeah.
They were like, you don't feel like one of those like holier than thou namaste bitches. And I'm like, can I screenshot this? And they're like, please don't. So you didn't say I couldn't say it here, so I'm saying it. I did hear from another person. They messaged me and said they did not elbow somebody back on the Boston Transit because they realized that they were taking the higher road that day and it was not worth their price to elbow back. And proud of you.
Doing good in the world, man. That's one less elbow.
All because they listened to my story.
Maybe that bitch really deserved it, and that elbow would have shifted the world into a
No. That's somebody else's journey. We're not gonna, you did the right thing by not elbowing the bitch on the Boston.
Sure.
Somebody else will do it. And the day that you get elbowed and you're like, nah, not today, Satan, and you elbow her back, good for you. Just don't come to me for legal advice if you do get in trouble for it, okay? I'm just saying, do the right thing. But, we're excited to be on this journey with you and to be growing with you. And, Jeff, I don't know if I tell you this enough, but I'm very lucky to have you in my life.
Likewise.
And I appreciate you being a part of this crazy fucking journey.
Oh, we got a long way to go, too. Shit's about to be crazy. No, I'm really excited for our Chi Talks live program. Oh, it's going to be so good.
We've got a lot of good things in store for you guys.
I've been brewing up ideas and talking to Michelle about it. It's going to be so good.
Yes. I think that's that for
That's
today.
it? Yeah. All right. That's the Chi Talks. Keep detoxing and let your body do what it do.
Bye, Inyans.